is one that I just cannot believe the price, to be honest. Wolves versus Man City. Wolves are a plus 1100 for a reason. If this was a mid-season, Wolves would be no bigger than what? Plus 475, plus 500, but they're double that. Man City minus 375. Man City minus 1.5 at minus 130. This is the one I cannot understand. Man City to score 3 times against Wolves, who, yes, they scored a late goal, and yes, they were playing against a Chelsea side that were not very good. But Wolves have been the number one side for me that have actually switched off. Stinch, is Man City win this game, right? But how do they win it? Because the minus 1.5, I see them winning 3-0, 4-0, 3-1, because again, the goal difference will come into effect. But Man City to score 3 at plus 125 against a Wolves side that they let him free against normal teams now.
I'm slightly confused, Flash, because I thought you'd given Wolves quite a lot of praise, but now it seems as though
Yeah, but you have a look in the last 6 performances. I mean, they got done at home. They've just been letting goals in early. Everything against, like Wolves have always been tight first half. But now they just look like a side that are just going through the motions.
Yeah, I guess so. But I think like a lot to like about the comeback against Chelsea. Last 10 minutes with the 2 goals. It shows a lot of character in my mind. A lot of fans suggesting that they were just meandering towards the end of the season. No interest in, because there was a long period where they were in a very good chance of making Europe. Now it's pretty much, they probably are going to finish 8th. It's unlikely they'll catch anybody above or be caught by anybody. So they're probably just going to finish 8th. But that's a good season for them. Well, I think they quite enjoy playing Man City. They've got a good record against them, and I think the fans and a lot of the players are still there from the victories they've had against Man City. I think they see it as a really good scalp. Yeah, I mean, I nearly backed Wolves double chance just because of the odds on Saturday, and I don't regret not doing it because I wanted a bigger price. But it still kind of shows my thought process that this Wolves team aren't one in my mind just to be considered as easy to. I don't think this is a game at all that you want going into the end of the season. It's worth noting that Liverpool's last game of the season is home to Wolves. So again, I don't think it's a one you want. I mean, Wolves have been fantastic defensively this season. Yes, they've overachieved in terms of when you look at the underlying numbers, but that's a lot of credit then that goes to individual players such as the goalkeeper and some of the defenders. Man City, worth mentioning as well, no Kyle Walker, no Ruben Diaz, and there's one other player that's ruled out to the end of the season as well defensively. I'm sure Mark will fill me in. So maybe Wolves can create something going the other way. So I don't want to get involved in any of the match odds, but just having a look at the card prices. Man City over 1.5 cards plus 100. That looks quite a low line to me. This is the title they're going for. Everything's on the line. Very well renowned for their tactical fouling. If they do take the lead, it will mean that Wolves probably will come out. And yeah, it'll be up to Man City to stop them. And if they are having to play players that are out of position, for example, Fernandinho at centre back, maybe Zinchenko at left back, players that are a bit rusty like Nathan Ake, very easy for them to pick up cards. So yeah, I think Man City over 1.5 cards plus 100 looks quite attractive. And yeah, I'm going to go away and look at it actually. I'll be tempted to add it as an official pick closer to the time.
Well, if you do, then make sure that you're following at BetUS Soccer because that's where he'll post it. Mark O'Hare, Leeds, the mighty Leeds, scored 3 against Wolves. I know that Wolves went down to 10 men in like the 56th minute. Brighton went there and won 3-0. Okay, Brighton are a decent side. Failed to score against Burnley. I don't even try to talk me off of Man City here. minus 1.5, minus 130, when Man City have everything to play for. And also that plus 125 for City to score 3. I just see Wolves, right? They win 1-0 against a 10-man Everton. They lose 3-0 against Brighton. This Wolves side are not the same Wolves side that we saw 3 months ago.
Maybe not. But one thing I'm sure I've talked about it with Wolves earlier in the campaign is Wolves are a team who, for me, are much more appealing as big underdogs rather than a team who are expected and heavy favourites to beat the likes of Burnley. I'd much rather them back them with a big start than back them to overcome a big handicap start. So, yeah, I mean, they're a tricky team, and Stincher's already sort of talked about them and their ability to kind of stay in games. We saw that at the weekend at Stamford Bridge, in droves really. And I thought they probably had signed off for the summer, but by the sounds of it, the Wolves players are still quite motivated to try and finish in the top 7 and grab a European place. They're 5 points adrift of West Ham with this game in hand. Now, obviously, you can't guarantee 3 points against City by any stretch, but they still feel like they've got a lot to play for. And part of the downgrade of their season has come because Jose Sarr hasn't been saving everything that's come his way. He has massively overperformed this season. But if you look at their season so far, they've only lost 4 games by 2 goals or more, none of which came against the top 8. City and Liverpool have both had to scramble basically a 1-0 win against them. Chelsea were held twice by Wolves. Spurs were beaten and won 1-0. Arsenal managed 2 wins by 1-goal margins, and Man United were 1-0 winners and 1-0 losers against Wolves also. So they know how to set up and frustrate against the big teams. And those injuries for Man City in defence, particularly Walker for his recovery pace, and Diaz as well. Stones is the other one that Stinch was talking about, who is absent or looking like he'll be missing at least for this midweek. So through the sort of winter, I thought City was so controlling, so good without the ball as well as with the ball. But in more recent weeks, I have seen a couple of cracks. They're giving away a couple more opportunities than they probably have done. But obviously, they're a class apart in the forward areas, and they didn't even really need Bernardo or Mahrez or Foden against Newcastle, such as the strength at their disposal. So, I do expect City to win this game, but I don't expect them to run away with it. So I was quite tempted almost by a long shot. I'm not going to put it up, but it's plus 300 for Man City to win by exactly 1 goal. City don't care what the scoreline is. They just need the win and they'll move on. And Wolves have obviously shown, as I said, in those results against the big teams, that if they do go down, it tends to be quite small margins really. So I expect City to win for sure, but I'd rather back the plus 300 than back City to overcome a big handicap.
But the big problem you've also got there is we've got to bring in the Villa-Liverpool game, because if Liverpool go and win 4-0, all of a sudden, Man City have got to start putting goals in the back of the net again. And I am chalking my own book. Wolves, not for me. Yes, I understand that they're so much better against better opposition because they play in like a proper European style. But this is not the Wolves that caused all the problems earlier on in the season. And the 2 goals, the momentum switched in the last 2 minutes at Stamford Bridge, because Chelsea thought they'd won the game and were just got completely sloppy. I'm official pick, because I'm the only one that's going with Man City minus 1.5 at minus 130. And I'll be happy to stick Man City in a parlay with Liverpool and with Chelsea. And I'll find out what that is and maybe put that on at BetUS Soccer.